The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Elena Vasquez walked to the central podium, her steps echoing across the crystalline floor. Around her, representatives from 47 species watched with barely concealed contempt. The Kralix delegation chittered among themselves, their mandibles clicking in what could only be amusement. The towering Vexnar stood motionless, but their eye stalks swiveled dismissively. "Honored members," Elena began, her voice steady despite the hostility radiating from every corner of the chamber. "Humanity requests a peaceful resolution to the territorial dispute in the Sigma Octantis system." "We propose," the Kralix High Chancellor interrupted, his translator rendering his words into mocking laughter. "The prey species proposes." "How delightful." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the assembly. The Vexnar emissary spoke next, his voice booming. "Humanity has held Sigma Octantis for merely 2 centuries. The Kralix Imperium has claimed that space for 15,000 years. By what right do you refuse to vacate?" Elena took a breath. "By the right of settlement and development. We have 3 colonies there, with a combined population of 40 million. We're willing to discuss shared jurisdiction, resource agreements, or..." "Willing?" The Chancellor leaned forward, his carapace gleaming under the chamber's lights. "You are willing. We are not interested in what prey is willing to offer." The Galactic Council's moderator, an ancient being known as the Arbiter, remained silent. Protocol dictated that disputes be resolved through consensus or clear majority vote. The Arbiter merely observed as it had for millennia. Elena continued for another hour, presenting data, proposing compromises, offering economic partnerships. Each suggestion was met with ridicule. The Tholxian representative called humanity a species that learned to speak before it learned its place. The Morphids suggested that humans should be grateful to be acknowledged at all. When Elena finally yielded the floor, she did so with grace. "We have made our position clear. We hope wisdom will prevail." She returned to her seat, her face betraying no emotion. The vote was called. 43 species voted for humanity to evacuate Sigma Octantis within 30 standard days. 3 abstained. Only humanity voted against. The laughter that followed was deafening. The Chancellor rose, radiating triumph. 30 days, humans, and be grateful we are so generous. Had you been sensible prey, you would have simply fled when we arrived. We are not prey, Elena said quietly. Then you are fools, the Chancellor replied. 29 days passed. The Kralix fleet assembled at the edge of Sigma Octantis, a formation of 800 warships representing the might of an empire that had conquered 73 star systems. Smaller contingents from allied species joined them, eager to witness humanity's humiliation. On the 30th day, the fleet entered the system. They expected to find empty colonies, hastily abandoned stations, perhaps a few stubborn holdouts. Instead, they found the entirety of Earth's 3rd, 7th, and 9th fleets waiting in formation. 240 ships, each bristling with weapons that no one in the Galactic Council had seen humans carry before. At the center of the formation, a dreadnought transmitted a message on all frequencies. The face that appeared on every screen was not Ambassador Vasquez. It was Admiral Marcus Chen, his uniform pressed, his eyes cold. "I am Admiral Chen of the Terran Systems Alliance Navy. You were given 30 days to reconsider. You chose war. Let me explain something your council never understood. Humans send diplomats first because we actually want peace. We send them because we hope, desperately hope, that words will be enough." The Admiral paused, and when he continued, his voice carried the weight of history. "But we also send them first as a courtesy, as a warning, as a final chance to avoid what comes next. You see, we learned long ago on our homeworld that war is not the failure of diplomacy. War is what happens when diplomacy is rejected by those too arrogant to listen." The Kralix Chancellor's face appeared on the return channel. "You dare threaten us? We outnumber you nearly 4-1. Numbers, Admiral Chen said, are what prey count. Predators calculate lethality." The Chancellor began to respond, but the Admiral cut him off. "You called us prey? You called us fools. You mocked our diplomats because you thought patience was weakness, because you mistook restraint for inability. Every species in your council believes the same lie, that those who seek peace do so because they cannot wage war." Admiral Chen's expression hardened. "Let me correct that misunderstanding. Humanity has fought wars on every continent of our homeworld, in every era of our history. We have fought with sticks and stones, with swords and arrows, with gunpowder and nuclear fire. We have written libraries about war, studied it, perfected it, and learned to hate it deeply. We seek peace not because we are weak, but precisely because we know war's true cost. The tactical display showed the Kralix fleet beginning to maneuver into attack formation. The admiral nodded to his weapons officer. You rejected every compromise. You scorned every offer. You laughed at every attempt to find common ground. So let me introduce you to the humans who speak last. The ones who arrive when diplomacy dies. The ones we desperately hope you'll never meet. What happened next would be studied in military academies across the galaxy for generations. The human ships moved with precision that seemed impossible, coordinated by quantum-entangled communication that operated faster than the Kralix could track. Their weapons, railguns accelerating tungsten slugs to 0.3 C, plasma lances that could cut through shields like paper, and missiles that outmaneuvered every countermeasure, tore through the Kralix formation with surgical efficiency. In 47 minutes, the battle was over. 612 Kralix ships were either destroyed or disabled. Not a single human vessel was lost. The Chancellor's ship, its engines crippled, drifted in space. Admiral Chen's face appeared on his screen one final time. We will provide aid to your survivors. We will recover your dead and return them with honor. We will repair your ships and allow you to leave, because that is who we are. But you will tell your council something. The Admiral leaned forward. Tell them that humanity sent diplomats because we hoped you were wise enough to listen. Tell them we made every possible effort to avoid this, and tell them that if they ever threaten human lives again, next time we won't send ambassadors first. We'll send generals. The transmission ended. 6 months later, Ambassador Elena Vasquez stood before the Galactic Council once more. The chamber was silent, but this time the silence was different. It was the silence of respect, tinged with fear. Humanity wishes to reaffirm its commitment to peaceful coexistence, Elena said. We propose the formation of a new joint task force to mediate future disputes, ensuring that all parties are heard before conflicts escalate. This time, when she spoke, everyone listened. The vote passed unanimously. As Elena left the chamber, the Arbiter approached her privately. Your species is dangerous, it said quietly. Yes, Elena agreed. That's why we try so hard to be peaceful. The Arbiter studied her for a long moment. Wisdom, it said finally, is rare in the young. Perhaps there is hope for this galaxy after all. Elena smiled. That's what we've been trying to tell you,